Hey, what's up guys? Nathan here at Bluestone Farms. I'm gonna do kind of a different little style of video. I believe in the last video I had mentioned that we were gonna move the cows out on the electric fencing, and I was currently waiting on the fence to show up in the mail. The fence ended up showing up. I don't have the fence up here at the house. The fence is actually down at the shop where the cows are at right now. And then I do have the charger. So we're gonna go ahead and get this charger unboxed. I'm gonna hook up, let it charge up, and then hopefully later today, early tomorrow morning, we'll go down and set up the fence in the cow's pen and leave it there for a couple of days, let them get used to it. And then hopefully later this week or early next week, we'll move them out on the grass. I know they're excited to come out. I'm excited to get them out. So let's go ahead and get this thing open. Once we open it, I'll kind of explain what brand this is and what we got. I have our charger here for it in case we want to plug into the wall outlet. A 12-volt battery for it. Again, black to black, red to red. All right, well, we just got the battery hooked up into it. I'm kind of looking at the grounding cable to it. Usually every fence charger I've had doesn't come with the two rounded, I don't know what you call those. Usually the ones that I always get, the ground always comes with the alligator clip. Kind of like how this one is. This is the hot cable for it, the electric cable. See, it's got the alligator clip. That's how the ones I've always had from Premier One have always come in. That's what I was gonna get in next with this. This is not a Premier One product. There's kind of two main reasons why I didn't go with Premier One this time around. Number one was just the availability. The fence I went for the cows, it's a 448/12. So basically the 4 means that there's 4 horizontal electric hot strands through it. So there's only 4 from top to bottom that are electrified. 48 means that it's 48 inches tall from the ground up, which is 4 feet. Now, I really wanted that style of fence for the cows. With that said, Premier One is usually my always go-to for that. I had been eyeballing the fence from Premier One for quite a while, and the one that I wanted was on back order. And every time I kept looking and looking at it, the back order date was just getting further and further out. I don't know if there was a supply issue there. I don't know if they just weren't producing that style of fence anymore. So that kind of led me on to look somewhere else. The other company that I'm kind of familiar with is Ken Cove up in, I believe they're out of Pennsylvania. I looked at them and I looked for that specific style, and they don't even make that style fence. They don't even offer it on their website or nothing. So that left them out. And then I did some digging around and came across a couple different other companies, but there was one that kind of stood out to me, which is called Starkline. These guys right here, Starkline, they make and specialize in electric netting, make their own chargers. Just started doing some digging on the internet of research and reviews of what customers have used and how it stood up on their property and how much they've liked it. And from what I could tell is that they had really good reviews. People seem to really like them. Now, do I expect this to be 100% just like Premier One? No. It was readily available. They had good reviews, and I'm happy to try them. The one thing that I liked a lot more with the Starkline fence was the price. And Premier One's cattle version of this fence, they only sell it in 50-foot or 100-foot rolls. The Starkline, they run it in 164-foot rolls. For one roll from Premier One fence, I could be a little wrong. I believe it was 120, between 120 and 130 or so for the 100-foot roll. Starkline, I paid 160 per roll for 164 foot. So I'm getting more times and a half for a much better price from Starkline. The availability and the price point of it, you're getting more coverage and length for your dollar than you would the Premier One fence. Now, does this stand up as to the Premier One? Is it good quality? I don't know. We'll have to find out. I'm willing to test it and I'm willing to try it. So this is where we're at right now. We're gonna hook the thing up to the wall outlet, let the thing charge up really good, and then later today or possibly tomorrow morning, as I mentioned, we'll take it down and set it up down there. So. I believe as this is charging, I have the positive hooked up to the positive and the negative hooked up to the negative on the battery terminal. So far, again, this is also the Starkline charger. This is the Solar S400. So far, I'm really liking the Premier One chargers over this charger here. I believe that their design on the Premier Ones is a lot better. Instead of having to disconnect the battery on the Premier One, it's on the charger to the wall. You can basically just straight hook up into the charger. It's got a little port on it. While this one, you got to take the entire battery out and then hook up into the battery itself. Well, we're going to let this charge up for a couple hours. Once it's charged up, we'll go down and set it up and set up the fence and everything with it. So, all right, guys, we're here. It's actually the next day now. I ended up taking it off of the AC outlet in the garage, and I ended up just letting it charge for the most part yesterday off of the solar panel. The instructions were really vague on it, and the charger kept lighting up red and green. I wasn't sure if it was charging right on the AC outlet, so I ended up just putting it outside. I knew it was charging right outside. The blue light was flashing. So I got 4 of these rolls here. I'm gonna open up one of them. So as I just previously mentioned earlier in this video and yesterday, I didn't like the way the grounding cable came for that. So I do have this extra Premier One charger here. I'm going to take the grounding cable out of this charger because I don't have an extra grounding rod either. I'm going to take the grounding cable and the grounding spike out of here and use it with the new Starkline charger. And this here is the alligator clip that came out of the Premier One charger. This is not the Starkline grounding cable that came with it. Now that that's all hooked up, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go out here and set up this fence. I also just realized that every one of these posts came with these caps on the bottom. Those need to come off, so let me go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, all of the caps are off of the bottom of the post. One thing that I'm seeing already on this one that I'm really liking that Premier doesn't do, that I like a lot more in this style, is that these posts, the step ends on the double spike, it's like an actual step on. This just seems a lot more user-friendly when it comes to that aspect of it, but so I noticed that all these little tabs where you connect everything to, on this brand, they come wrapped in plastic, which is kind of a pain in the butt. It's not hard to take off, but it's just another tedious little step you got to do to make sure that these are ready. Again, just hook that up there to the fence. It's now turned on. We had quite a bit of rain come through last night, so I know the ground's really wet, so we're gonna have a good ground contact. That one cow was just touching it before it even turned on, so now that it's on, they're gonna have to learn to figure out what this is now that the fence is on. Haven't tested it yet. We'll get the tester out. We'll test the thing up real quick. I will say one thing that's kind of I've noticed with the Premier one of this one is that this one's a little bit more flimsy. The posts aren't as thick, and I just feel like the wire's a little bit more floppy, which is, you can put some like inline posts on that. That'll fix that problem. I'm not worried about that. Taking all the posts, always don't touch it. Yep, that touched them. That's what we want. That's what we want. We want them to touch it, want them to learn it. I know that one got a good shock. He was licking it as he touched it. Yeah, I could tell he's a little spooked by it. I don't want to get him too riled up though. This is what I was saying with the lights on the back of this thing. You can see that it's flashing like a blue and green. The green obviously means that it's hitting. The blue means that it's charging through the solar panel. So it looks like everything's hooked up right. Looks like everything is working. I know we got good ground contact. We got quite a bit of rain last night. We had a good thunderstorm come through pretty late last night. Let's get the tester real quick and we'll test the thing up and see what we're hitting at. Before we test it, it looks like this one might be curious of what this fence is first. Yeah, I think he might touch it. Let's see. Maybe not. All right, let's see what we're hitting at. 9.7. I'm happy to see that. That's almost a 10,000 volt shock. These guys will probably be in here for probably another 3 or 4 days if I had to guess. Depends on what the weather does. So let these guys get used to this fence, make sure that they don't touch it, make sure that they learn what it is inside of this hard barriered fence first, and then we'll move them out and get them on grass, and I'm looking forward to it. But this video wasn't really a it's not really a review on Starkline. It's more so just kind of showing what I got from them. I don't really want to write or put out an honest review quite yet. I don't think it's time. I just set this up, but I think this fence is going to work really well. I seem to like it. A couple little things you gotta work your way through, and kind of a learning curve to anything new you get, right? But for the price point, I'm happy with it. We might do like a whole review on this later in the summer after we use it quite a bit with the cows and see how it works, and we'll do a whole review later on. But all right, we'll catch you guys at the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe. Always helps us out on our end.